Hello gainers, Ralphie here with some Fit of Philosophy, and I would like to give you some practical advice about being aware of the problems that you may encounter from the overconsumption, knowingly or unknowingly, of ideas and attitudes and philosophies from all those around us. Life is a journey. Some philosophers will say it isn't. Many philosophers get quite convoluted. At times they trip over their words and they become sort of abstract in the delivery of their meanings, which serves to slightly baffle and confuse, which is probably what the intention is. You'll find it even in the sacred scripts around the world that whatever religious scripts or simply ancient historical scripts they are, the most informative ones tell the simplest story. They're the most direct and unambiguous in their communication, but even then we have to be prepared to analyse and be critical in the way we interpret the information. In fact, it's well noted that certain historical wise books, that's a good way of putting it, wise books, like the Zohar, for example, is best not read and best not made an attempt to understand it until you're over 40 years of age and you have a good backlog of experience in life to help you with your perspective. And the simple reason is this, that the ancient thinkers, they had a lot of space and time, far more than we generally have today, with so many distractions around us. And this basically allowed them to further refine and even distill their ideas and notions, influenced by what they knew. And bear in mind, a lot of what they knew is no longer available to us now, because history, the facts of history, have been very heavily censored, and you need to be aware of that at the back of your mind. Don't believe the history books. They give a version. They always give a version. But we're now in an age, and I'm going to bring it to the present day, where so much information is available to us, and in fact so much information is thrust upon us by the societies in which we live, that it can start to become a lot of white noise. And I want to advise you just to be mindful of that. And I'm going to give you something really, really helpful to support you in creating barriers against the disingenuous, unimportant, distractive, disturbing flannel which is generally created to register unease in your life, in our lives, and we need to be wary of it. And what I'm going to recommend is something that many religions around the world are fully aware of, and that is the power of retreating into silence. It is not for the faint-hearted. Don't for 1 minute think it is an easy or lazy option to enlightenment. It most certainly isn't. It can take, in fact, it can take you to some very dark places, particularly those who meditate over time and achieve a level in their meditation in which they have to encounter their own demons and others. So, be aware of that. But here's something for starters, something to get you going, so as that you can start to cut down the white noise around you. And that is simply to step aside and have your own room or your own place outdoors, which is quiet, you're undisturbed, no mobile phones, no, you do not want them. Move away from them. They're always listening to you. even when you don't want them to hear you. But you know that. But find a quiet place, step aside, and simply listen actively to the silence and to the sound of your own breathing. Be at peace with yourself and at one with the world. I know it sounds simple. That's because it is. It is much more simple than you realise, and it is amazing what you will find and what you will discover and how you will settle inside from that experience, which anybody, gainers, anybody can do. I'm Ralphie. I hope you've enjoyed some of my fitter philosophy. I'll see you again shortly, where I shall be discussing something very similar to this topic, but slightly different. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime I'll leave you with a very attractive view of the sea, because the sea is always in motion and yet can often present great stillness to our lives.